how to fix poor fuel economy, and the top hidden causes most people miss. So if your car is suddenly using more fuel than normal, do not blame fuel prices yet. The real problem may be a small fault quietly forcing your engine to burn extra fuel every time you drive. And the mistake many drivers make is replacing random parts like spark plugs or oxygen sensors without first checking the simple things that actually cause poor fuel economy. So the goal here is simple: find what is making your car use more fuel, fix it properly, and get your mileage back. The first thing to check is tire pressure. When your tires are underinflated, they create more rolling resistance, and the engine has to work harder to move the car. Check the tire pressure when the tires are cold. Look at the sticker inside the driver's door for the correct pressure, not the number written on the tire sidewall. Then use a tire pressure gauge and check all 4 tires. If any tire is low, inflate it to the recommended pressure. Uneven tire wear may also point to bad alignment, and bad alignment can reduce fuel economy. The second hidden cause is a dragging brake. If one brake caliper is sticking, the car is basically fighting against itself while you drive. That means the engine needs more fuel just to keep the car moving. After a short drive, park safely and walk around the car. Without touching the brake parts directly, feel near each wheel for unusual heat. If one wheel feels much hotter than the others, or you smell a burning odor, that brake may be dragging. You may also notice the car pulling to one side, poor acceleration, or a wheel that feels hot after normal driving. The fix may be cleaning and lubricating the brake slide pins, replacing a sticking caliper, replacing a collapsed brake hose, or servicing the brake pads and hardware. The third thing to check is extra weight and drag. If your trunk is full of tools, boxes, old parts, or heavy items you do not need, remove them. If you have a roof rack, cargo box, or bike rack that you are not using, take it off. The fourth cause is a dirty or restricted air filter. Your engine needs clean airflow to run efficiently. A badly clogged filter can reduce performance and efficiency. Open the air filter box, remove the filter, and inspect it. If it is packed with dirt, leaves, oil, or dust, replace it. Do not just blow it out and reuse it if it is heavily clogged. Install the new filter properly and make sure the airbox is fully closed, because an air leak after the filter can cause other problems. The fifth cause is worn spark plugs or misfires. If the spark plugs are worn, fuel may not burn properly. That can cause poor fuel economy, rough idle, hesitation, loss of power, or a flashing check engine light. To check them, remove the spark plugs carefully with the correct socket. Look for worn electrodes, heavy black carbon, oil deposits, or a large gap. If they are worn, replace the full set with the correct plug type for your car. Use the correct heat range and specification. Also, tighten them properly, because over-tightening can damage the threads. If you replace the plugs and still have a misfire, the issue may be an ignition coil, plug wire, injector, or compression problem. If this is helping you, subscribe to the channel for simple car repair and diagnostic guides that help you fix problems without guessing. And also like and share this to support the channel. Now, let's move to one of the most overlooked causes: a bad thermostat or engine running too cold. If the thermostat is stuck open, the engine may take too long to warm up. When the engine stays too cold, the computer may keep adding extra fuel, almost like the car is stuck in warm-up mode. Watch your temperature gauge. After driving for a while, the temperature should rise to its normal range and stay there. If the gauge stays too low, drops while driving on the highway, or the heater never gets properly hot, the thermostat may be stuck open. The fix is to replace the thermostat and refill or bleed the cooling system properly. Next, check the MAF sensor. The mass airflow sensor tells the computer how much air is entering the engine. If it reads wrong, the computer can add too much or too little fuel. Common signs include poor fuel economy, hesitation, rough idle, sluggish acceleration, or a check engine light. To fix it, locate the MAF sensor near the air intake tube. Remove it carefully and clean it only with MAF sensor cleaner. Let it dry completely, reinstall it, and make sure the intake tube is not cracked or loose. The next cause is a vacuum leak. A vacuum leak allows extra unmeasured air into the engine. This can confuse the fuel mixture and make the computer adjust fuel incorrectly. Listen for a hissing sound around the engine. Check vacuum hoses, intake boots, PCV hoses, and the air intake tube for cracks, loose clamps, or disconnected lines. If you find a cracked hose, replace it. If the intake boot is split, replace it. Do not just tape it and hope it holds, because the leak can come back. A bad oxygen sensor can hurt fuel economy because it helps the computer adjust the air-fuel mixture. An oxygen sensor code does not always mean the oxygen sensor itself is bad. Use an OBD2 scanner and check the codes. If you see oxygen sensor codes or rich and lean codes, do not replace the sensor immediately. First, check for exhaust leaks before the sensor, vacuum leaks, dirty MAF sensor, fuel pressure issues, and misfires. If those are okay and the sensor is slow, stuck, or reading incorrectly, then replace the oxygen sensor with the correct one for your vehicle. Next, check the coolant temperature sensor. This sensor tells the computer how warm the engine is. If it falsely tells the computer the engine is cold, the computer may add too much fuel. With a scan tool, compare the coolant temperature reading when the engine is cold. It should be close to the outside temperature before startup. After warm-up, it should rise normally. If the reading is unrealistic, stuck, or very different from actual engine temperature, the sensor or wiring may be faulty. The fix is to repair the wiring or replace the sensor. Dirty fuel injectors can also waste fuel. If injectors are clogged or leaking, the engine may run poorly and use more fuel. Signs include rough idle, hesitation, fuel smell, hard starts, misfires, or poor acceleration. You can start with a quality fuel injector cleaner in the tank if the problem is mild. But if the injector is leaking, stuck, or causing a misfire code, it may need professional cleaning or replacement. Do not ignore a leaking injector because it can waste fuel and damage the catalytic converter. Also check for fuel leaks. If you smell fuel around the car, especially after parking, do not ignore it. Look under the car for wet spots, check around the fuel lines, fuel rail, and injectors, and pay attention to fuel smell near the engine bay. A fuel leak is dangerous and should be repaired immediately before driving further. Wrong or old engine oil can also reduce fuel economy. If the oil is too thick for your engine, the engine works harder, especially during cold starts. Check the oil level and make sure you are using the recommended oil grade listed in the owner's manual. If the oil is dirty, old, or the wrong viscosity, change it with the correct oil and filter. A clogged catalytic converter or restricted exhaust can also cause poor fuel economy. If exhaust cannot flow properly, the engine struggles, loses power, and may use more fuel. Signs include poor acceleration, a rotten egg smell, excessive heat under the car, or the engine feeling choked at higher speeds. This needs proper diagnosis before replacement, because converters are expensive and usually fail because of another problem like misfires, rich fuel mixture, or oil burning. Do not ignore transmission problems either. If an automatic transmission is slipping, not shifting into higher gears, or the torque converter is not locking up, your engine may run at higher RPM than normal and burn more fuel. If you notice high RPM at highway speed, delayed shifting, slipping, or burnt transmission fluid, check the fluid condition and get the transmission diagnosed. If your fuel economy dropped suddenly, especially with black smoke, fuel smell, shaking, power loss, overheating, or a flashing check engine light, do not keep driving and guessing. That can turn a small repair into a much bigger one. If this video helped, please subscribe to the channel, like and share this video. And you may also want to watch this other video right here where I show you how to tell the difference between a bad MAF sensor and the manifold absolute pressure sensor, the signs and symptoms to look out for. I will see you there.